Hello friends, I'm back with CSS. Previously we looked at HTML basics. Now we are going to apply the CSS to see how we can design our HTML structures to get a beautiful site. Now let us start on our tutorial. Now this is my screen. From the last lectures, I learned everything about opening and creating a file through this software. Let's come here and create let's open a new folder on the desktop. New folder, let's call it CSS. Okay, let me call it CSS and I select that folder, then select. Okay, now we are going to first open a folder index.html. Enter. Then from there we can, as usual, HTML5. Then what we can do next, we can continue from here. Let's say something like paragraph tag, p tag, hello people, okay. Now I want to apply CSS from here. Come here on the title, say style, right? Okay, call that paragraph. You can call it here and say that P, then you open. We can say background. You can give it a background of, let's say, blue. Okay, after giving it a background, now let's say go live. Again, okay. After pressing go live, you see that the paragraph has a background of blue. Now we can apply our styles here. Can you say color? Color that let's say red. Then we can again call it. Can apply other colors. Let's say padding. 5%. Let's say 5%. 5%. Then and let's have this. See, there's a padding here. There is a padding here. There is everything. You see, the changes are seen. Even the color red is seen also. But now I want to avoid this. What we're going to do, open another file called style.css. You can call it whatever you want, but let me call it style.css. This is our style.css. Let me increase this size. Then come here to the index, copy all this. Let's cut Ctrl X, then delete that. come here, CSS, paste it, get back here. Now from there we can come and say link, by pressing link, say style CSS. Now if you try to come here and refresh the page, you see that there is no change, meaning that we can separate the CSS code and the HTML code, or you can put it on the same page from what we did first, or you can put it on separate pages. This is the code, this is the HTML, meaning I have separated both HTML and CSS files. You can do them in HTML, but it's better when you separate them. Now we are going to work upon everything when everything is separated. Yes. If you control shift P, see that you can look for spread editor. You can type it, or mine is here, spread editors. Now look at this. CSS on this side, I don't like this. Okay, again, Ctrl Shift P, spread the editor, CSS this side, then HTML this side. Let me cancel. Now this is our screen. We shall be working upon here. On the CSS here, this is the HTML. That's how we shall be working. So far, now let's get deep into CSS. So far, we can start on CSS. And now we shall start from CSS selectors. CSS selectors. Now, before writing anything, there is this thing, background. There is this brew. Background is called a property, brew is called a value. If you combine both, you call it it becomes a CSS rule. Rule number 1 is a selector, rule number 2 is a property, and when you combine a property and a value, it becomes rule number 2. Now, CSS rule, a CSS should be with a selector and a property, comma, stroke value, or value. So you say stroke value. Okay. Now, so far now here we have a CSS rule. That's why we have applied it the other side and it worked in the output, as you can see. Now, what we can do is continue and get deep and we understand, get more introduced to CSS. From those default designs that I've just this is called property, this is a value. You have understood that, I think. Okay, let's get back to if you have here, you see that it has disappeared. If we get back, see now in CSS, from what I have just done, you can see that we have applied a CSS rule. Now let's get deeper. Now we have what we call type CSS. Now type CSS, if like formally what I have just done, if you say paragraph, I've targeted this paragraph, I called it direct. We can call it a type CSS. How much it is a CSS rule? Yes, but if you classify it under CSS, we can call it type. We can call it type selector. Sorry. We can call it type selector. Let's say I have something else like emphasis. emphasis. Okay, emphasis. Right, something like that. Okay. Okay, about spelling. I don't know whether it's wrong or right, but let's look at that and come here. Call it empha. Something like that. Okay. So say background. Let's give it the background color. A yellow. Then color. Cyan. You can give it any color that is dependent to yellow. We can call it blue. Say blue. We can give it a padding. Okay, anything padding. Something like 2%. 2%. Okay, let's check the output. What's wrong? There's no yellow color. Okay. This is not background color. Yes. Now, so far now you can see that there is a yellow color. The reason why the paragraph has highlighted the whole thing is that the paragraph covers the whole row, the whole horizontal line. Yes, that's why it has done that. But for emphasis, it has just covered emphasis only with its padding. Okay. Now, so far we can continue. That is what we call a type selector. Type selector is when you have that, let's say bold, you get the bold itself, you bring it here, B, bold, B, then you do anything about it. If you have, let's say, a division, div, you do the same thing. Division, then you come here and say div, because there's not any other div. Say you do the same thing. Say it will have the similar experience as the above. You see, div. Okay, division. Yeah, to have the same effect, meaning that we are using a type selector. Now you can understand it, that you just pulled direct the tag, the name of the tag direct, you put it here, then you target it just direct like that. Okay, we can continue. Yeah. Let's continue. Let's go for descendant selectors. Let's delete that and edit that. If you say paragraph, this is, let's say what we do, yeah, go for an emphasis. This is emphasis. This is emphasis. This is not trade. So this is not trade. Something like that. This is not trade. You see this statement. If I try to break to break it. Okay, this is what we do. Then emphasis, then after let's copy this paragraph here. Let's cut X to here. Control V. Let's cut this paragraph here. Control X. This point here. Control V. Okay. Now, if we are to look for a descendant selector, we can come here and say that we have P uses open, say color, say color red, the background yellow. Let's say also we add, let's say, like padding 5 or 2%, like that. Now let's check the effects from here. Effects will be this. Now we are targeting the emphasis for a descendant selector. If it's a paragraph, this is the paragraph, then within the paragraph you are targeting the emphasis. That's it. Within the paragraph we are targeting the emphasis. We are not targeting the emphasis which is outside the paragraph. I think not red. That's why you're seeing that not red is not red. Outside the paragraph you're not seeing that. Okay. Now that is descendant selectors. We can look at child selectors. Let's see if it's paragraph also, or if it's the same thing. Control, and we try to put here that let's take the first one as if the same statement, but we are showing that emphasis is a child of a paragraph. Emphasis is found within a paragraph. Also, it will target only the emphasis within the paragraph. Therefore, meaning that paragraph is great. Emphasis is found within. That's a child selector. Now, it's different from the previous selector that we had, which is a descendant selector. Okay. Now let's try to see. There is change. There is no change on the thing, but we have changed we have remained the same state with the same statement, but we have changed in the code. That's called a child selector. Okay. We can continue with other selectors. Last one is descendant selector. Went a child selector. Now let's go what we call adjacent sibling selector. Now, if it's adjacent sibling selector, let's try to delete that. Say paragraph. Let's say something. This is pal. Say paragraph, something like that. Okay. Let emphasis. This is emphasis. Say emphasis, something like that. And again, emphasis. Let's say this is not It's an emphasis also in red. It's not red. It's not red within the emphasis. Now I want you to see these two statements. This emphasis is adjacent, is after a paragraph you got this first emphasis. Then the next it is this is not red. We shall see. Now if I put the addition sign here, it will mean that I'm targeting the emphasis after a paragraph, meaning that there will be no effect on this next emphasis, meaning that the next emphasis won't be red. Now look at the output. I think this first emphasis is red, but the next emphasis is not red, meaning that if I put a plus sign, the all CSS I'm applying, it will be on the first emphasis. I think you're seeing that. Okay, that is called what? That is what we call. That's what we call. That's what we call adjacent sibling selector. Now let's go for other selectors. We are on the selectors and CSS laws. Now let's go to other things. Attribute selectors. Now we are going to use attributes. So we have paragraphs. Paragraph. This is pal again. Paragraph. So here we are. Something like that. I make funny sentences, but it's for learning purposes. Let's make something like title, and we write something like title, or something like go next. Come here. We write paragraph. Say title again. Come. Write something like come. Come is a value that is held by an attribute. Okay. See, this is online classes. Classes for class for chorus. Something like that. Now, if we come on the CSS, we try to remove these two as our selectors, and we put try to put we try to put this titles again, title, then okay, with other effects. Now what are we expecting? Output is this. This is paragraph. Here we are the online classes for coders, meaning that we are targeting the attribute. Look at this. We are using title as attribute. If I change this one with class, let's say class is also an attribute. What will be the output? Got that ready? is on this, the attribute will be like this, meaning that now I'm on the title attribute, I'm leaving out the class attribute. Okay, let's try to change this class to class attribute also. Now the output will be there is nothing targeted. We are targeting titles, but now we are on classes. Now let's get back and press Ctrl Z again. Now this is where we are targeting an attribute. That's what we call attribute selectors. We can continue here if we say attribute selectors. Now attribute selectors specified values. Now from attribute selectors we can specify the values by saying there is the word go and come. If we come here and we say equal signs open comma then go, if you do that, what shall we say? The upper one is targeted. The one with the go value, the title with the go value is targeted. The upper one with the come value is not targeted. Where is the go value? My go value is here. This is go. I'm targeting go. That's why the changes, the color rate, the background, and the padding is applying on the go value, the title of the go value. I'm specifying that will qualify it to be attribute selector. I'm selecting with an attribute, but for a specified value. Okay, let's continue. We are on. Let's go for class selectors. Now, class selectors, how do they work? If we come here and we say that class is an attribute, and we come here, we say dot the value within the class go. Are you seeing this? Dot go. If we say dot go, the output will become the output will be on this paragraph. This paragraph here, even if you refresh, it's the same thing. Now, what if I want to do what? I want to target the class select again, because I call it class. Will it change the output? No, it won't change the output. Still, we are on targeting go with a dot. A class is targeted using a dot. If you look at this will be dot go. But if you put, let's say, come, targeting this one, now we are calling it with a dot. Classes are targeted by using dot or full stop, whatever you call it. Now from there, if you again come back, you see that the next one, the one with the class value, which is come, is the one which is highlighted. Now let's continue. We have what we call ID. If we press this one with an ID, now so far we come here, we say go, but now this is a hash. We are targeting an ID. A class is by a dot, an ID is by a hash. Now we have to find the output. This paragraph here that it should have these changes, the CSS changes. So where is this? Okay. Now you see this paragraph here we are targeting it using an ID, but an ID, when you're calling an ID, you call it with a hash. This is where we are. Even if you do it for the same here, ID, and you come here, you press come, still hash come. come, we shall find that the changes are on the second. The one with an with the paragraph with class with an ID called with an ID value called come. I think you can see it here. If I bring it like this, you see this ID come, the output is here. Yes. Now from there, we are done with our selectors. We can look at something else. There are different things that we shall look at. We are done with class selectors, IDs. Now we can go on pseudo classes. Now, pseudo classes, it's P. If you want to see the spelling of pseudo class, it's P is E, yeah, EUDO. That's the spelling of a pseudo class. The class classes. This is it. We are on pseudo classes. Now, how do we move around in pseudo classes? Now, what if we have something like, I think you saw that in the previous lessons. Then you have list, enter. We have anything in list. Let's say first, then list, second, and list. We have third. Yeah. Now when we come here and we say, let's again remain with our changes here. When we come there and we say on the list, in the list, I need see the first child. Say first child. See that? You see the output. Look at that. First, on the first, these are lists, I think you remember. On the first item is the one that is affected. Within the list, I'm using pseudo classes to make effects on the CSS effects on the what? On the classes. Okay, let me. Within the list, I'm making the effect on the. I'm targeting the first child within the list. Okay. Okay. You can still continue. Is there any other next second class? Let's try it out. Second. No. Last child. You can target last child. I think you can see that also last child. You can target the last and first using last and first child. Okay. Yeah. What if we say before? Something before. Is there any change? Before. There's no change. Okay. Let's leave that at that. But our intention was on the child, the last child and the first child. You can target the first element within the list or the last one by using the first child and the last child. Okay. Now from there, you can go on something else. Now there's what we call focus pseudo class. What we want to focus on. Assume we have something like a form. A form is different inputs. Let's say we have input. I say we have name. Yeah. Then we have input. We have something like okay, something like that. We have password. Really? It's password. Something like that. Okay. Now input. Yes. Like that. Okay. Submit. Submit. Input button. Yeah. I'm gonna submit. Then after submit. Submit. Something like that. Okay. Now if we come here and we say so far we have this. Since we are going to change on our CSS by saying okay, we are on focus sort of class. Okay, let me delete it all to make it clear for you. Say focus. It's input. We are taking input. Then that input we can say focus. Let's focus. Now that's what we have. Okay, on focus, what do we want to do on the input? We want it to background be background color to be yellow, let's say. And then text to be color to be red, say. We can even change the width. See the magic. Width, like this is I'm just showing you how you apply this CSS. Not specifically that you have to apply that, but I'm just showing you. Let's see something like 100%, 100, or let's say 70%, or 60. Okay, 60%. Okay, now let's look at the output. You have something like this. While we say that focus, what do we mean by focus? When I put here the cursor, damn, nothing's happening. Okay, see that? Come here with the cursor, tap. It is applying all. The input will be red, the background will be yellow, and even the width of the input will be 60%. Is it magical? Okay, let's try to break here and we see it clearly. Yellow. Okay, now this one comes here. If you tap here, it's going to be big also. See that? Also, the submit is big because it's an input. Yes, it's magical. And whenever you make changes on everything, on anything, it's good to put something like transition. transition or is 3 seconds, 3 seconds, or transition with 3 seconds, whatever. Let's see how it looks like. I see how the yellow comes. It takes some time. See the yellow, how the yellow comes. It takes some time. It is coming. Transition with ease. It is making a transition with ease. We shall always use that property. Transition with ease. Okay. Transition property. Those are the values that all with ease. Okay. But don't take it at heart, or don't take it in mind. We are on study purposes. We are on focus. That's focus. Let's look at active. There's active and many other. Okay. There is hover. Okay. Let me remove this funny thing like this too. Now, you have seen that. Now, what will happen when the input is now hovered? Something like hover. Now, after hovering, now focus. It is focusing on something. That's why you pressed on it and it changed. Now, what if we bring this? Now, let's change it to black. Okay, black. In background, I say blue. Now, what comes first? We first hover on something. Hovering is when I do like this. I'm hovering. When I press, I'm focusing now. When I just press that thing, is active. When you come and hover on the button, it is hovering, there is focusing the mouse, then there is activating, it's like clicking. Okay, we shall see everything. And now, if I come hover, it will become blue. But if I try to focus, okay. When you're writing, that's focused. It is focused. It is focused. When you're writing, it is focused. But when I hover on it, it will be blue, and even the input. Now, does it make sense? Focusing on hover? Yes, it does. When I say hover, it is blue and the text is black. Yes. When I press here, when I come here, still when I'm hovering, it is blue and it's black. But when I remove, the focus will remain, which will apply the focus inputs, which is red. The same thing here, as hovering, still moving, hovering is like this. Then when I focus, as if I focused area, but this is the initial thing. After focusing, you remove. That's it. And I can even press active on the button. There's also the same thing. But here it's active. active for the button, it will work better for the button. Let's only focus on the button. First comment this one out. Come here. Come the button. At first you hover. What happens? It's blue and black. If you focus, you had hovered, it made a focus. Let's see. When you press, wait. Let's change. Active, it becomes background white, background orange, cream. Say something like this color. Okay. Something a funny color like that one. I'm sorry for crazy colors, but okay, we shall take that. But we are on study purposes. So now, however, you're seeing blue and black. If you come here and you press here, blue and black. However, we focus. After hovering, it's as if your next target is focusing. That's why if you remove on hover, you see red and blue. But when you press, this is activating, active. That's why you're seeing this funny color that we had, yellow in the background, and that's a funny color. I don't know the name. This is it. I think you have understood this. Those are what we call pseudo classes. Now, after pseudo classes, we can go for pseudo elements. Now we saw a class. Now we can come for an element. If you come here and you say polyglove, this is say we repeat what we do better now. And you come here, let's remove this, make it out, say polyglove. Now first letter. Okay, first letter. Now this is called we are on pseudo elements. Now we are on first letter pseudo elements. First letter, it's there down. Come here, first letter. Then let's say font size. Let's say something like extra large. And now then color. This is our user red color. Yes. Okay. Let's see the output. The T, the first letter T is targeted. Just make it extra large. Like that. Yeah, you see the effects are on T. Yes, for extra large. You can see it better. It's extra large. We are targeting the element, which is the first element. You can even target the what? That is what we call first letter pseudo element. Okay, we can look at what we call first line pseudo element. Okay, let's look at that. Try to read this first line here down. Okay, what happens when you select the first line? Look at that. Awesome. The whole line will be affected. Now, what if you come here and say that I'm breaking even here after the word we? I say break. I think that means that if it breaks from the first line, break creates a text or a sentence on the makes a sentence to go in 2 lines. Now, if you break, you are affecting the sentence. You are breaking the do better. Like if you come here and you break this way, this is what we do better. Now, if you break it from do between we and do, meaning that this is as if you in the browser output, this is what you will see. Now, even if it doesn't do so, but the browser will get to know that you are breaking here. Now, what do you think will be the output? Very easy. The output will be a break, but still we are on the first line. Now, if you break, it will see as if this first line ends from here. As cool it is, like these are the changes. Font extra size and red. Those are the changes. Let's go for next sort of class. Yeah.